Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome to a brand new game on the channel. This is Satisfactory. If you are a fan of modded Minecraft, this will probably be right up your alley. If you've never heard of Satisfactory, give it a try. Basically, this game consists of three main, I guess you would say, pillars, which would be progression, automation, and of course, building. And honestly, I've been playing a little bit over the last few days and really having a good time with it, so I figured, you know what, let's do a little series on it. Why not? It's been out for a while. You can find it on Steam. It's in early access. Still getting updates, and it's very good. As I said, it reminds me a lot of modded Minecraft, that kind of technical, automate all the things sort of itch. It scratches that for me. And I'm liking it a lot. So the first thing we need to do, we're starting in the northern forest area. Also, it's Christmas season, so you may see like random presents and things being dropped. If you're watching this in the future, that's what's going on. I'm recording this in December. But anyway, we're going to follow this. Oh, I need to equip my zapper. We're going to follow this road for a while until... Oh, they're right here. Hi, you were hiding in the leaves. I didn't see you. Is there another one? Sometimes they come in pairs. Yep. Hello. Get zapped. Come here. Excuse me? Zapper, why you no work? There we go. Whew. Okay. So yeah, there are things that want to kill you. And we're just grabbing all the leaves and stuff. We'll make use of those later. But the first thing we need to do is basically just follow this sort of road until we hit the water, because that will be close to where we're ultimately going to set up our base. Well, after a long and rather perilous journey, I think we finally made it here. This is where we are going to be setting up our little starter base. This is a fairly well-known location, I think. I've seen it in a couple different YouTube videos and stuff about, like, base locations. You can also look it up. But basically, the, let me get rid of these stupid bee dudes. Please, you gotta go. Did we get all of them? We zapped them all. Okay, so the reason this place is good, this is a game that's all about automation. And here we have plenty of resources to automate. We have not just one, not just two, not just three, but four pure iron nodes, which are the best kind of iron node, right here, all just right next to each other. And that's going to be probably the most important early game resource. There's also pure limestone up there, which is another super important early game resource. And then there's also a pure copper node here, and another one kind of where the present is right now, which is the third super important early game resources. So you have you basically have all of the resources you need. Well, let's not die to these dudes. This is a little dicey. Hold on. We gotta heal. We're taking a little bit more damage than I would like. Go away, bee. Yeah, we're on death's door here. Did I pick up any healing items along the way? I did not. Okay, well, this is a little spooky, but we'll probably be fine, I hope. Actually, isn't there like a bush thing right around the corner here? Yes, okay, these. I don't have room. Okay, you know what? We'll deal with that in a minute. So this is where we're going to set up, because everything we need to get an early game base going is right here, and we can take full advantage of it. So first things first, let's just plop down our hub. And this is kind of like your starting, hub. This is kind of where you work off of to begin with. And then you've got different things. You have a crafting bench here that you can use to craft things. You have the hub terminal, which you can use to unlock new things to work with, to automate, and tools and building stuff, etc., etc. I'm just going to dump all that stuff in there right now. And also, on the backside here, you have a couple of generators to give you some early game power. But we're not really going to be using those two. Like, we're going to use them, but they're quickly going to become outclassed by power generators that we will make on our own. So, let's swing over here super quick and grab those nuts, I think they are. barrel nuts. Yeah, we need to heal, because right now, like, one hit from any enemy and we're just dead. So, there we go. Let's get healed up a little bit. And now, the first thing we need to do is get our limestone and our copper cleared out. Pretty much every resource node like this in the game is going to have some sort of enemy next to it. So you can see there's these things here. These will spit out, this will explode and spit out the little bee dudes. I don't know. They look like bees to me. Maybe they're flies or something, but either way, they're not friendly. Did we get them all? I don't think so. Oh, there he is. Come on. Okay, so we've got that cleared out. I'll probably leave the one up there for the moment because we don't need it right now, but we will need the limestone. And then I'm going to start gathering some resources and stuff like that so we can actually start building some stuff. So this crafting bench is where you will do most of your crafting, and it's pretty straightforward. If I need to craft, say, concrete, for example, we need the resources in our inventory, we choose the thing we want to craft, and then you can just hold down the button, and it will just start crafting it. If you need to do large amounts of stuff, you can actually just hold shift and hit spacebar, and then I have no hands on anything right now, and it will just kind of automatically do it, and then you're like, oh, I want to do cables now, and so on and so forth. So that's where we're going to be doing a lot of crafting over the course of this. Not together, because this is boring, and most of it I will do off camera. But we will need some biofuel. This is what we're going to use to fuel our generators, and we can get this using leaves or wood, which is why I was picking up stuff the entire time, so we can turn it into fuel. But the first thing we need to do is automate iron production, I think. We'll probably go iron, copper, limestone in that order. So to automate one of these nodes, first things first, we got to clear off the big chunk of iron that's sticking up from above the node, because that's not actually the node. This, on the ground, is the node. Then we hit Q to go into our building menu. We go to production and grab a miner. And we'll just plop that thing down right here. And you know what? I'll plop one down on the other side as well. And in the early game, this is going to look really ugly. It's not going to be organized at all. We have to unlock foundations and the various building tools that we're going to need to make things look pretty. So for now, it's going to be just kind of a disorganized mess. But we've got our miner down. From the miner, let's grab a smelter, and if we hold control, it will snap to a world grid, and it will automatically align. So let's just do that, get it as close as possible. Then we will throw down a conveyor belt here to carry resources from the miner into the smelter. So basically, the miner will extract the iron ore. It'll then go on the conveyor belt into the smelter, which will turn it into iron ingots, like so. Then we want to use those ingots to produce stuff. So let's grab a constructor, and kind of the same deal. We're just going to put it right in front of the other piece over here, like so. And again, we will hook up conveyor belts like that, and then finally, just temporarily, we will throw down a quick storage container there and there. And one more time, conveyor belt. This needs to be forward a little bit. Nice thing about this game, when you dismantle something like that, you do get the full resources back, so like it's totally fine to just break things that aren't placed correctly or something like that. There's no penalty for it, so that's a nice thing. Okay, so then you are going to make iron plates, and you are going to make iron rods. So iron ore turns into ingots, ingots turn into some sort of resource, and then it gets put into this storage crate, so I can pick it up to use it for whatever I need. So now what we need to do is actually power all this stuff. So for now, let's just throw down a power line there. And then I guess we'll throw down a power line here, here, and here. And then we'll go, you go to this one, hook that up to you. You're connected to 3 thing. You know what, that should be fine. It doesn't need to be perfect right now. We'll just hook up everything we can. This is going to be so ugly, but like, it's fine. There we go. All right, so now this is all hooked up to power lines, but we need to actually hook the generators up to said power lines. So one more thing, let's just throw down one more power line there. You can only connect 4 lines to a single pole, which is why I've got like some extra poles here, because I want to be able to run another line in the future to like over there and all that kind of stuff. And now, last but not least, we just need to throw some biofuel into these generators. So let me craft some of that up super fast. And that should be enough for now. You can only put 200 fuel into a generator at a time. So we'll get that stuff going. There we go. Now we are producing power. You can see we've got our power. The blue is how much we're actually using. The light gray way up here is how much power we are capable of producing. So as long as the light gray line is good, we're in good shape. Okay, so now you can see producing iron. The iron is going into the smelter. The smelter is spitting out iron ingots, and the iron ingots are being turned into iron plates, which then ultimately pop out here and end up in here. And this one is doing the exact same thing, except for instead of iron plates, it's iron rods. So those are 2 of our very basic resources. Now I'm going to do essentially the same thing over there for copper to produce copper wire, and then for limestone to produce concrete. Although this one's going to be a little bit different. Limestone, the only difference is you don't actually smelt limestone. You just throw it straight into a constructor and turn limestone directly into concrete. So let me get that set up, and then I'll catch up with you. Well, I've got everything set up, but I blew a fuse because all of this stuff is too much for these 2 little generators down here to handle. So we're going to have to add an additional generator. Just plop that down right here for the moment. And just hook that up to our grid. And then I put in another storage crate right over here just to store all the biofuel. So let's fill this generator up. And then turn everything back on. And now that we've added this additional generator, we should be good. These 2 produce 20 megawatts each, and then this one produces 30. So adding one of these almost doubles our power capacity. But now everything should be set up. So again, it's pretty much the same, basic principle we've got that we did over here. That was, miner into smelter into make me a thing into storage crate. Same concept basically over here. We go miner into smelter to make copper ingots. Copper ingots go into a make me a thinger to create copper wire. And then that will go along this conveyor belt over here into this storage crate for storage. And then this one up here is just miner into make me a thinger, aka constructor, to create concrete, which will ultimately end up in here. And those are all going to be absolutely essential resources for us to get things going. So now that we've got that all automated, even though it looks hideous, let's see what we're actually supposed to be working on. So I think the first 2 things that you should unlock like 100% of the time are base building and logistics. And the way that we unlock these is we basically take the resources listed down here and dump them into the computer, send them off into space or whatever, and then that will complete the objective. So for logistics, I need 300 copper wire, 150 iron bars, and 150 iron plates. I will probably have that before I have the stuff for the concrete one, unless I want to make a lot of it myself. We might actually have... I think it was 150 iron bars. And then we just need the copper wire. But the copper wire is going to take a while because we literally just set up our copper production. So what I'll probably do is just make some of this stuff manually. And then, that'll help kind of subsidize our production. So we can hold down E here, and then you can actually just hit tab and take your hands off the keyboard if you want, and you'll keep mining. So I'm going to do this for a while, get a bunch of copper, probably do the same for concrete as well for the logistics, or for the base building milestone as well, and I'll come back to you once we're ready to unlock some stuff. Alright, my friends, I am back, and I think we're ready to unlock some stuff. So first things first, let's do base building here. Dump in 200 concrete, 100 iron plates, and 100 iron rods. And then we hit the big red button, and now we have unlocked stuff.
Structures aim to provide the first needed to build basic factory infrastructure and improved overview. Building these will provide a grid for more advanced organizing and sectioning of your factory.
I know. Okay, so yeah, we have now unlocked foundations, and these are wonderful. Let's go 5. There we go. So these things, they come in multiple sizes. You've got little short foundations, you've got slightly taller foundations, and then you have very tall foundations, which are what we're going to be using. But we can use these to make a large flat area for us to build on, which is totally what we're going to do. Also, there is in this game a global grid system. So if I hit Control, it will automatically snap to that global grid, which means if I put down a platform and a group of platforms here using the global grid system, and then later, far down the road, I decide, you know what, it would be cool if we built another base way over there in the distance, on top of that giant rock way over there. If I use the global grid over there, it will still align to the same grid as this, which is super, super useful because the world of Satisfactory is very, very large, and there will be lots and lots of expansion if you play for a very long time. So if you start with the global grid, you'll get some good use out of it. So that we will be using. Also, we need to unlock the basic automation. Logistics. We need to unlock the first level of logistics. And this is going to give us the conveyor splitter, conveyor merger, conveyor lift, and a productivity display. The big things here that we really care about in the early game are the splitter and the merger, and especially the splitter.
Milestone exchange concluded.
Let's go ahead and do this one. Dump in our plates, dump in our iron bars, and dump in our copper wire. And there we go.
Reached. The productivity.
I don't, Ada, you don't need to tell me. I know. So that unlocks this stuff and the splitter and the merger and things. You'll see what they do in just a minute here. Let's just grab our stuff. So here's the deal. This miner is producing 120 ore per minute. This smelter can only smelt 30, and a basic conveyor belt can only transport 60 of an item per minute. So right now, we're kind of wasting a lot of resources, and until we are able to get the next level of logistics, which is considerably more expensive, that's up here in Tier 2, Logistics Mark 2. Until we can get the second level of conveyor belt that does 120 resources per minute, we are definitely going to have some stuff going to waste, which is no good. So that's our next big priority is Logistics Tier 2, and then we work on essentially getting this all properly set up so we can have a good setup. But in the meantime, iron rods, pretty important item. But you can see here, this iron rod is only this constructor, to make iron rods, it's using 15 per minute, but we're producing 30 ingots per minute, 30 ingots per minute. So basically, if we throw a splitter on this line, we can double our production very easily. And then since the smelter's only using 30, we could do the same over here. And this is why we wanted those splitters. So let me get this switched over. We're basically just going to make it so we're going to make twice as many rods. Actually, 4 times as many. Yeah, we'll be able to do 4 times as many rods as we're producing right now, and twice as many iron plates, because we are using 30 ingots per minute, which is what each smelter will produce. So let me get this switched over. And you know what? Now that we have fancy foundations, maybe we can even put it on a grid. Okay, I think I have it all finished. This is horribly space inefficient. Like, I'm taking up so much more space than I need to be. But until I have the materials to expand the platform out in that direction, we're working with what we got, because I wanted everything to be all nice and lined up in nice, neat rows. So here is essentially the deal. We have our iron miners producing the ore, which then gets split on the conveyor belt into 2 furnaces. So that's basically using all of the ore that these level 1 conveyor belts can move, and then producing the appropriate, ingots, which then pop over into here. Now, we're making use of the splitters and the mergers. The splitters are splitting these lines, such as right here, right? So that our iron ore can be split and sent to, and separated out and split between multiple forges and constructors and stuff. And then we also are making use of mergers afterwards to get everything all back on one single line, so that it can ultimately go to these 2 storage containers here. And now we are producing quite a large amount more resources than we were beforehand. It is ugly, it is taking up a ton of space, but it's also getting the job done. And until we can unlock the next level of logistics and get like a really good concrete setup going, this is kind of what we're going to have to work with for now. So I think our next priority for sure is Logistics Mark II. We need a lot of concrete, and we need reinforced iron plates, which are made using screws, which you use iron rods to make, and then iron plates. And I could fully automate this process if I also wanted to unlock part assembly first to get the assembler, but I think I just kind of want to make a beeline for logistics to get those Mark II conveyor belts, because that just seems really, really useful for all the other kind of stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It means I'm going to have to manually make a whole bunch of reinforced iron plates, which is going to be a bit of a chore, but that's okay. I'm willing to do it. All right, I think we finally have all of the stuff for Logistics Mark II. Took a while, but I managed to get everything done. There we go. Had to fix sort of a weird issue with the
Milestone reached.
merger things over here with the conveyor mergers. For some reason, they weren't actually merging. Maybe it was because of the way that I placed them or something. But I managed to get it all fixed, and now it's working properly. It is actually taking the inputs from everywhere. So that's all good. But now we have Conveyor Belt Mark II, which can transport up to 120 things per minute, so twice as much as the Mark Is. Now, why is that important? Well, there are 3 types of nodes in the world, or 3 levels of quality, I guess would be a better way to say it. There are impure, normal, and pure nodes, and all of the resource nodes that we have around us right now are pure, which is why this is such a great base location. Impure nodes with a regular old miner will produce 30 of their thing per minute. Normal nodes will do 60, and pure nodes will do 120. Since these are all pure nodes, and right now we're only running Mark 1 conveyor belts, we are wasting half of the potential output of these miners. So what we ultimately want to do is swap this conveyor belt coming out of the miner for a tier 2 conveyor belt, and that will essentially double our output. Now we're gonna have to redo this whole system again because that twice the resources means we need twice as many processing machines, twice as many smelters, etc., etc. But before I can do that, I need space. I need room to actually build all that stuff. So I think our first project is actually the concrete machine up here, splitting this off into a couple different the thingamadoodle, the make me a thingers, the constructors, yes, constructors. So yeah, I think what I want to do is basically hook up 3 constructors and a tier 2 belt, so that we'll get, it won't be quite triple, because if we run up here very, very carefully, it's a long way down. If we look at this, 45 per minute. So that means we're using a grand total of 135 limestone for all of them to run at 100% efficiency, and we're only pulling out 120 out of the ground. So it won't quite be enough, but it'll be fine. It just means that we won't be 100% resource efficient or whatever. It's really not a big deal. So we'll hook up 3 constructors to that limestone, and we will essentially triple our concrete production, which is huge because each of these foundations, when I build one, uses 5 concrete. So you go through this stuff really fast when you are building these large platforms like this. You know, just doing something like that used, what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? That was 50 concrete right there. And we're going to have to build this platform out pretty far to have room for all of the machinery and stuff like that. Plus we need to kind of clean up this backside over here, get our power generation area sort of sorted out, and like there's more resource nodes over here that we're not even using right now because we didn't have the space. Like, yeah, concrete is going to be super, super, super important. So I want to get that going as quickly as possible. So I got the concrete all sorted out. You can see it kind of off in the distance there. And I fixed our power/hub really looking ugly situation. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these biofuel generators over here, plus the 2 on the back of the hub. And they're all hooked up. And then over here I moved the biofuel storage. So I'm probably going to have to go get more biofuel at some point. One nice thing about these generators is they'll only consume as much fuel as they actually need for the amount of power you're consuming. So they can take up to 10 per minute, but they don't always take that much. Like right now we're way under our max capacity, so they won't be consuming fuel as quickly. We will also want to automate better biofuel in the future as well. If we pop in here, you can see under obstacle clearing we can get solid biofuel, and that is even more efficient as a fuel source than the biofuel I'm using right now. So that is a project for a future day. But yeah, we've got everything all kind of going here. We're going to have to revamp our iron production, and I'm going to have to deal with our copper production here fairly soon as well. Plus get into making more advanced stuff. But I think for a first episode, this has been a pretty great start. Let me show you this real quick. It's super simple. Miner into splitter, splitter going into constructors, constructors make concrete, back into a merger, and then it all goes to a storage bin. Super, super simple. Like, ridiculously simple. So yeah, that's basically how it's going. You know, it looks like things are off to a good start, but I think I'm going to call the episode there. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check those out as well. You can find this game on Steam if you're interested. I'll put a link to that in the description too. But other than that, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.